have extra XLR? Because otherwise I'm going to have to
They may.
I have to hump it back to my truck otherwise.
Yeah, they'll set you up right here.
I'm sorry?
She's talking on the phone.
Yeah. Well, that's the way they treat everybody in our business. Just one more. That should be good. Yeah, that'll be good.
Ladies and gentlemen, please thank the St. Thomas Episcopal Bagpipes and Drums.
We will have our speaking program and ribbon cutting starting at 10:30 in about 10 minutes. you're here, please see me at the DJ booth, Julia Bond. One more time, if you're a speaker or VIP, please make your way to your chairs at this time. We're about to start. Julia, if you're here, you've lost your license, your driver's license. I have it here at the DJ booth. So Julia, if you're here, I got it for you.
So, good morning. I know it's warm out here. It was overcast earlier. I'm Rodney Ellis, and I want to welcome you here. I do have to thank Nicholas Bowden, Augustin Sebastian, Aguilas, and David Barash. They were the wonderful young people who played the bagpipes for us. Give them a warm round of applause. There are a number of VIPs here. We didn't plan it this way, but with the sun beaming down on our heads, particularly those of us who don't have hair, we won't go too long, but it's a very important occasion. Look, I want to give a shout out to this neighborhood. They put these flags up, and when I came up, I said, oh my God, is it Veterans Day? Am I getting this mixed up? But give them a warm round of applause. They did an outstanding job. And in particular, Jean Chabet and Jeannie Newcomb, give them a warm round of applause because they called all of the leaders in this neighborhood to get that together. I do have to make an apology for some who are watching us on stream because this is the Sabbath and we are paying homage to a rabbi. And I was wondering whether or not to tell you this little story or not, but I'm going to tell you this little story. In 1986, my former boss, Congressman Mickey Leland, had agreed to go on a trip to give some encouragement to our Jewish friends who were practicing underground their religion in Russia. Refuseniks is what they were called. And they want a member of Congress to go, Congresswoman Fletcher, assuming it's unlikely that they would get arrested if they were doing that. So the congressman couldn't go, so he said, get Rodney to go. He's on the Houston City Council now. And I got Councilmember Gorczynski to go. We got there late Thursday night, so we didn't do anything Friday. We didn't do anything Saturday. And then on Sunday, we would go out and visit with refuseniks in their homes. We'd catch the subway. This is 1986. The Iron Curtain is still up. And so I said to someone when we got back on the subway, look, I've been up since 2 a.m. the last 2 mornings. I wish we'd started this a day earlier. And so someone on the trip said, well, Councilman, in case you didn't know it, that is our Sabbath. And so I said, I'm so sorry, I'll never forget it. And then someone later on the trip said, well, Rabbi, this is his Sabbath. We're out here on Sunday. But I want to apologize to the people who have to watch on live stream because we happen to pick this day. And I'll take the heat. The family was so kind. They did not point out that the only days we gave them were Saturdays. Unlike their father, who I can remember on several occasions would have an event with the other two amigos, and he would show up and look at Reverend Bill Lawson and Archbishop Fiorenza and say, let the record reflect, I am here, but it is my Sabbath. But we all wanted to pay homage to this family, and thank you all so much for being here. We changed the time a little bit, and so our initial speaker, Kenny Friedman, is on his way. We changed the time because Cecile Richards, some of you might know, Ann Richards' daughter, died so young, and they're going to have her memorial service in Austin today. And her husband, Kurt, called me and said, hey, I think you've known her since maybe when you showed up in Austin in '75, so I think she wants you to speak. So I'm going to have to fly out at some point. But if I don't make it, I plan for that one. Ron Kirk, used to be Mayor of Dallas, was around when I met as well. So Ron Kirk is going to improvise, assuming that I don't show up. But we're going to change the program a little bit. I want to let Kenny get here so I don't have to improvise, and he's parking. Since we moved the event up a little bit, he'll be here. But what I want to do instead, Beth, is introduce you from the Parks Board first and let you make some comments. Beth White has just been such an incredible partner to me on getting this project and so many other projects done. And then after that, Congresswoman, I'm going to let you speak, and then I'm sure Kenny will be here. So at this point, I want to bring up Beth White, who is the mastermind, the brain behind this trail and about 150 miles of trails along greenways throughout Houston and Harris County. Beth White from the Houston Parks Board.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. Mastermind, that's quite something. So many visionary people brought this idea forward, and I'm just lucky enough to get to work on it. And I truly want to thank the Commissioner for this amazing day, for creating this amenity as such a jewel along our BioGreenway system, but also the thoughtfulness behind naming this bridge for Rabbi Karff, a man who spent a lifetime building bridges and connecting people. And you know, for you to name this after him to inspire others to think about what it takes to build communities a soul at a time, we are really grateful to you. The Commissioner is a true champion when it comes to park equity and understanding their role and importance in the value of our quality of life, our health, and the economy and vitality of our communities. We work with him across the region on White Oak, on Halls, on Greens, on Hunting Bio. Finished up a project on White Oak recently, and 10 miles southeast of here, we're working together on Hill at Sims, another amazing amenity to come along the bios. He helped close out the fundraising campaign for BioGreenways with a $7.5 million commitment that helped us raise $120 million to put toward this amazing amenity. So I would really ask for you to give a round of applause for this incredible partner for our quality of life here in the Houston region. And his team, they're an amazing group. I am so proud to be the president and CEO of Houston Parks Board, the not-for-profit expanding, improving, and protecting green space in the Houston region for the last 50 years. We also not just build the BioGreenways, but we're maintaining them. And so we are delighted that Braze is the longest greenway in the system. You can go from the east end all the way out to Bishop Fiorenza Park, which the Commissioner is going to do very shortly. And park equity also continues to be the backbone of our work, and we're honored to maintain this particular bridge along with all the amenities, BioGreenways on Braze. We care for an astounding 787 acres of beautiful green space, 15 pedestrian bridges, and nearly 40 miles of trails. And I really want to call out the members of our conservation and maintenance team that are here today. I really want to recognize Marvin and Glenn. If you'd raise your hand, you saw them at the ends of the trails. They may still be out there working, but they're the folks who keep this area so wonderfully clean according to our high standards. And I want to thank our phenomenal board of directors, many of whom are here today. I see Colin Geiselman, our board chair, Baron Wallace, our former board chair, Don Aaron, a member of our foundation board, William Taylor, a member of our local government council who used to work on this bridge with us when he was working at Precinct 1. Nina Zilka, Sis Johnson, Sheila Condon, Maura Baldwin, Steve Newton, and Leslie Elkins. They show up in so many ways for us, and we're so grateful for their leadership. And I'd love to ask our Houston Parks Board team to raise their hands if you would. These are the hardest working people in the park business, aside from HPARD. And I just want to thank all of our partners, not the least of which is Harris County Flood Control District. And I see that Dr. Peterson is here. We work hand in hand. And then Houston Parks and Rec with Michael Evans here. So thank you, everyone. It's a joy to be here.
I haven't had a better friend in the United States Congress. I'm close to all of them. Congressman Al Green, I saw him earlier at an event this morning. He apologizes to the family because he can't be here. But Congresswoman Lizzie Fletcher and I have been doing a lot of groundbreakings together over the last couple of days, and she is just such an amazing ally and doing a great job representing you in Congress. Would you please welcome Congresswoman Lizzie Fletcher.
Well, thank you so much, Commissioner Ellis. Thank you for that very kind introduction, and I've really loved our partnership and working on so many meaningful projects with you. And this is an incredibly meaningful one for all of us, and so I'm just delighted to be able to be with you this morning, and I thank you for bringing us together here today for this purpose. I also thank you for your leadership, your real leadership and commitment to honoring and celebrating the people who have shaped our community and made it what it is today. And at a time when we are facing so many challenges, you have given us something to celebrate. And I'm so grateful for that opportunity this morning to come together and celebrate this community and the incredible group of people who are here today, who are working hard every single day, bringing people together. And of course, you have given us an incredible guide and a place to find our way in the days ahead. I cannot think of a better symbol to honor and celebrate Rabbi Karff than a bridge. And I'm so glad to be here today with all of you. This is an amazing crowd that has gathered, and I think we should take note of that, of how many people are here celebrating this, because this is an important investment. This is an important infrastructure investment, because our parks and our green spaces are so important to our community, and because our community is so connected and so important to bring everybody together today. So I want to thank Beth, of course, and the Parks Board and everybody associated with the Parks Board who make our city a better place to live. Of course, my colleagues, my friends that I get to work with and have the privilege of working with, my state representative, Ann Johnson, and District C City Council member, Abby Kamen. Delighted to be with y'all this morning. Of course, very, very grateful and excited to be with other community leaders this morning and with members of the community and the neighborhood. And of course, to Rachel, Amy, and Liz, I'm honored to be with all of you this morning, and I thank you for sharing your dad with all of us. I had the joy of receiving his wisdom and guidance throughout my young life, especially when I visited and attended services and celebrations at Beth Israel, which I am so proud now to get to represent in Texas's 7th Congressional District. And of course, I also received his wisdom at his regular visits every single year to speak to the students at St. John's in Chapel. And that's just one example of how Rabbi Karff was in every way a bridge builder, and why this memorial bridge is so fitting. As everyone gathered here knows, Rabbi Karff dedicated himself and his life to unifying and uniting communities across faiths, across cultures, across town, across generations, always leading with wisdom and compassion. A bridge builder in every sense of the word, and in every direction, and with great success. As one of Houston's most respected spiritual voices, Rabbi Karff worked tirelessly to foster understanding between different communities, to help those in need, to bring people together, to talk about what was really happening in our community, and to pursue equality and justice through interfaith connection. Today, we honor his legacy, not only with words, but with action, by creating a space and a place that connects people, just as he did throughout his life. Investments like this in infrastructure, where we can walk and bike and be together, are absolutely essential. They enhance our quality of life, they make our communities safer and healthier and more connected, and that is the theme again and again today. You are making us more connected. Every person who is here, Commissioner, you are doing it. You are giving us not only this place, but something to remember as we experience this. And you know, the Bio Greenways is such a vital component of our community system, spanning across, obviously, this bridge from north to south Braeswood, critically important. This bridge is going to allow so much more for this community. And I think it's also important to remember that it speaks not only to the connection, but the resilience of this community. We've seen a lot of challenges, especially here along Braes Bio. And what we see is that investing in projects like this and in people and connecting our neighborhoods and bringing us together helps us create an interconnected community that can respond in the challenging moments that we have faced and we will continue to face. But this connection is just so critically important, and naming it after Rabbi Karff is such an important reminder for all of us. So we're going to cut the ribbon in just a few minutes, and as we do, I just hope that we will remember today and every single day the values that Rabbi Karff championed: compassion, connection, and commitment. Commitment to the idea that we are stronger and better together. This bridge will serve as a lasting tribute to his life's work, a vital link for generations to come, and an inspiration to us all, today and every day, to live by his example and his teachings, and to use our time on this earth to make our community, our country, and our world a better place. Thank you.
Oh, trust me, I lift them. I don't mind. Congresswoman Beth White and team, everybody who worked on this, members of the local community who came out in droves, might I add, all of the elected officials who are here to speak. Today we gather to honor the name and build upon an incredible legacy. The late Rabbi Karff dedicated his life to fostering understanding, unity, and justice while faithfully serving Congregation Beth Israel, the oldest Jewish congregation in Houston. That deserves a round of applause. It is our profound honor to dedicate this pedestrian bridge in his memory, a bridge that symbolizes the connections he tirelessly worked to build across communities, ideologies, and racial divides. Rabbi Karff's journey marked by compassion, keen intellect, and an unwavering commitment as a civil rights leader. He worked together to do good, to seek justice, and to make the world a better place. He led the fight, along with others, for a more fair and equitable criminal justice system through advancing better legal representation for people who are poor. He led the effort, along with others, to create the Harris County Public Defender's Office in 2010 and to reform our bail system for misdemeanor bail. He worked to improve fair housing standards, called for college prep courses in high schools with large minority student populations in particular, and he anchored the Anti-Defamation League's Coalition for Mutual Respect to combat anti-Semitism, an issue that we are working very diligently on even today. Houston owes Rabbi Karff and his colleagues, in particular the other two amigos, a tremendous debt of gratitude for leading an interfaith effort in service to their faiths, and they were different faiths, shared values that helped change the lives of countless Houstonians and set an example for other communities around this nation and the world to emulate. This bridge will serve as a lasting symbol of the Rabbi's vision, building bridges, connecting people, and advancing equity, inclusion, and fairness. This bridge will span 634 feet over Brays Bayou, connecting the north side and the south side of Braeswood. This bridge provides safe routes for students, enhance access to public parks, libraries, and businesses, and it even makes it possible for senior citizens like me to get from one side to the other. In a wheelchair, on a bicycle, even if you want to crawl, you can now get to the other side. It expands equitable access to green space and trails as part of that broader commitment to equity and environmental justice. This is all about working to bring people together in Houston and Harris County to make us greener, healthier, and more prosperous. Many of you here today have been advocating this project for years. You have called my office. You have called my friends at City Hall. You called the state representative. You even called me when I was in the state Senate, as though the state could do it. But we are getting it done today. And I couldn't be more happier than I am today to be here with you to cut this ribbon. May this bridge connect communities and inspire us to continue building bridges, understanding one another, our differences, having more compassion for one another, and helping us add more unity to our daily lives. Now, I want to introduce the person who was very instrumental in helping me to get to know Rabbi Karff. I met Kenny Friedman because he was the legal advisor for no pay to my boss, Congressman Mickey Leland. I watched him from afar when I was an intern and in law school in Austin, because he was always walking around the corridors of power, corridors that I dreamed of getting in, but never knew that I would end up there. When I did end up there, Kenny has been the person along the way who would always give me advice, jerk my chain, and answer the phone in all hours of the day and night. I talked to Kenny and I talked to his wife at least every other day. He's such a tremendous friend to me and to our community, and a close ally to the Rabbi Karff. So I thought it was appropriate for him to introduce Rabbi Karff's daughters to speak instead of me. Would you please welcome Kenny Friedman?
Thank you, Commissioner, for that generous introduction. I appreciate it. It's nice to be here with everybody today. Commissioner, I know others have said it, but I want to say it again. Thank you for your leadership in getting this project accomplished. You deserve an awful lot of credit for this. It took a lot to get this done, but it's done, and it's going to be a great amenity for this community for many, many years to come. So Rabbi Karff was my friend, but he was everybody's friend, right? He was a man of immense intellect, but also great insight and empathy, and everyone instantly understood that he was a man to go to if you had problems, issues, questions, whether it was serving his Beth Israel community or whether it was serving the larger community, as Commissioner Ellis said, or whether it was his many years of chaplaincy at the Texas Medical Center. He was always a man who could be counted on to be there for you. And it's particularly appropriate that this bridge is being dedicated in his memory because, as others have said, he was nothing if not a consummate bridge builder. Rabbi Karff was a man of great modesty, but were he here today, I'm sure he would not be modest at all about telling each of you that his greatest accomplishment was marrying his wife Joan, a wonderful woman who, in her own right, also has done a great deal for this community, including, but not limited to, starting a dance troupe for underprivileged and minority young women who needed a leg up, and she was always there to provide that leg up. It's still going today, and it's making a difference in the community. And if both of them were here, yeah. And if both of them were here, they would tell you that their proudest accomplishment is their three daughters, Rachel, Amy, and Liz. And so, you know, you can go around the corner and go to three brothers, but you have to be here to have the three sisters. So please welcome the Karff sisters.
Hi, thank you, Kenny. First, my sisters and I are so grateful to Commissioner Ellis and to the City of Houston for honoring our father's legacy in this beautiful way. I think the bad news is there's going to be a lot of repetition because as I'm sitting here, I'm hearing a lot of the same adjectives and comments that I will make. But I think that the good news is that means that my father lived a highly authentic life. Whether you were, like me, his first child born on his birthday, or someone who knew him in a meeting for 2 hours, you came away with the same sense of the man. And I think that's a pretty extraordinary legacy. So as others have said, I cannot think of a more powerful or apt symbol for Dad than a bridge. In large and small ways, throughout his entire life, he was a connector. He was a communicator extraordinaire who was also a wonderful listener, which is not that common. He understood and taught us that we are all more alike than we are different. It is the essence of our shared humanity that connects us. But our dad took it one step further, as he also believed that our shared humanity bound us together and made us responsible for one another. Together with his dear friends, the late and beloved Reverend Bill Lawson and Archbishop Joseph Fiorenza, they served as Houston's guiding lights, the three amigos. The strong bonds between these honorable men of different faiths allowed them to build bridges, heal rifts, and create change for decades. I hope that this bridge, this beautiful bridge behind me, will continue to remind us of the connections we can make and the importance of building bridges to help our neighbors in need, or just to join hands in service of what is good. Thank you.
Dad was incredibly disciplined, and this trait was reflected in many aspects of how he lived his life. One aspect was his commitment to physical exercise. Years before all the studies came out about the benefits of walking, our dad regularly took these long walks along Brays Bayou. It was really one of his favorite forms of exercise. He would tell you his favorite was really tennis. I have so many memories of him walking along Brays Bayou near our home in Meyerland. He did this for so many years in his life while he was in Houston, unless he would say it was too hot. And Commissioner Ellis, this was a close call for him, right? All right. Dad often walked alone, and he would wear his signature hat. He took these long strides, and he walked with real purpose, like he had somewhere to be. My sense was that Dad used this time to be with his own thoughts. His role as a rabbi often required him to be on and intensely focused on listening to others. And as Rachel said, he was a wonderful listener. I know, that's my grandson. But when he was walking alone on the bayou, he could be quiet and contemplative. And while he was always a very peaceful man, I felt that the time that he spent walking alongside the bayou was one of those times when he was particularly at peace. So that's just another reason why this bridge and this location is a particularly wonderful tribute, and we are so, so appreciative.
As my sister Rachel said, this bridge is the perfect metaphor for our father's life and legacy. And as Amy just shared, walks were a part of Dad's daily ritual. He was deeply spiritual, and walking was not only a source of exercise for him, but a form of mindfulness and meditation. He enjoyed being outside, and he was always quick to point out the beauty in our world. During our summers in northern Michigan, he would recite his morning prayers while standing at the edge of the lake. He reveled in a beautiful sunrise and in a beautiful sunset. He often drew our attention to the beauty that surrounds us and instilled in us a sense of awe and wonder in what others might consider the simple things. He found such pleasure in selecting the perfect peach or the most delicious tomato. Dad taught us to respect the sacred in everything and in everyone. At a time where there is so much anti-Semitism, xenophobia, racism, and other forms of prejudice, this tremendous tribute to our beloved father is immensely meaningful. This bridge carries the name of a man who stood for and represented everything that is good in this world. As his very proud daughters, we are all immensely grateful.
Thank you all. You'd be so proud. In this order, we'll hear from Representative Ann Johnson, who's been a tremendous fighter for us in Austin. Our own council member, Abby Kamen, after her. So please give them a round of applause as they come up. Ann first.
Good morning. To Rabbi Karff's family, I want you to know, as a Houstonian, I too feel like I was raised by your father. As a young girl, I remember seeing him and the other 3 amigos. In times of crisis, the media would go to his office, and in a time of hate, he would speak up to all of us. I was struck as well, riding up here and seeing all of the American flags, and thinking about the fact that occasionally our nation goes through a struggle of hatred, of ripping at one another. And all I can think about is today, I wish your dad was on TV to speak to this moment. But I think about the dedication of this bridge. And from here on out, my prayer is that with every step that we take, we try to walk in the same life that he led, which was a man of moral courage, of the highest integrity, and the commitment that we love one another at all times. Thank you for sharing your dad with us in all moments in his life and for all the rest of us in the future. Thank you.
Yeah, we got to lower it a little bit. What a special turnout. Thank you all for being here to celebrate this momentous occasion. But Commissioner, thank you for your leadership, not only for $3 million to invest right here, but as we've all mentioned, what this gift represents to all of us. You are a true friend to the community. You are a leader, literally uniting us and carrying forward legacies and stories that will always be remembered here in Houston, here in Texas, and throughout our nation. And for listening to the community, hearing their requests, their asks, engaging with them, and for pursuing the vision that we all share for Braised by You. To all of our electeds, to all of our civic groups, and all of the friends that are here today, again, thank you, but especially Liz, Amy, Rachel, and your entire families. Your father was a force for good, a pillar in our community, and one of the fiercest advocates that we look to in the call for equality. And I did not get to say this when he passed, as it was in the middle of the pandemic. But from the bottom of my heart, thank you all for sharing him with all of us. We are grateful to you. We are grateful to your children, and of course, to your mother of blessed memory. District C is on one side of this bridge, and District K is on the other. And I promised our Mayor Pro Tem, who wanted to be here, that I would relay her appreciation as well for connecting our 2 districts. Imaginary lines, but we unite communities. We also have with us some of our representation from our at-large offices, Councilmember Ramirez and Alcorn as well, because this means so much to the city. And again, there has not been a lot that hasn't already been said. So I'm gonna, instead of wearing my council member hat for a second, I'm gonna put on my Beth Israel member and Jewish community hat for a second. So as a little girl in Sunday school at Beth Israel, there was no question, no doubt, no matter how young you were, you knew who our rabbi was. His kindness, his compassion, his stand for the Jewish community and for all communities. And that message of unity was instilled in all of us at a very young age, thanks to his leadership and the work that he does. And I got to see that work firsthand at the Anti-Defamation League when I worked there, working with him through the Coalition of Mutual Respect. My father just told me last night when I was with him, and I promised I'd relay this, that Rabbi Karff embodied the decency of what a person is and what a rabbi is. It didn't matter what your religious or political background was, where you were from, or who you knew. He stood for justice, dignity, and the shared humanity that unites us all. Of course, he and his amigos, the 3 wise men. And we need those reminders of what is possible now more than ever. as Rabbi Lyon, the now senior rabbi at Beth Israel, could not be here today, and the entire congregation sends their love and their appreciation, I promised I would close with a message from him. Hasidic Rabbi Nachman of Breslov is said to have taught, the whole world is a very narrow bridge, and the main thing is to have no fear at all. Walking together, as Rabbi Karff would want us to, enables us to overcome challenges with greater ease and shared goals. Rabbi Karff built bridges between people, and he was rarely disappointed with the ability of the human spirit to rise to the occasion. We'll walk alone if we must, but better we should walk together to find unity and peace. Perhaps this is something that we can all take with us, especially as we continue to walk across this bridge. Shabbat Shalom from Rabbi Lyon. Again, thank you all. And I really want to thank the families that are here, because this is a gift for future generations that our grandchildren, our children, and those that come after us will get to enjoy. Thank you. Oh, and another woman that needs no introduction at all, Beth, thank you for your leadership and all the Parks Board does to partner with our office and the city. Beth White.
Thank you, council member. I'm so happy that you're my council member. we talk a lot with council member Kamen. And this is truly my privilege to come back up here and introduce some of the community leaders who have been so vital to this project, but also projects throughout the city. Tom Compson, who is the chair of the Bicycle Advisory Committee, a fierce advocate for safe cycling and wonderful communities, and Jeannie Newcomb, president of the Braeswood Place Homeowners Association. If you two would please come up and share a few words. Tom worked closely with the precinct and us on this project, advocating for years, but also the creation and improvement of safe off-street cycling across the city. And Jeannie in her neighborhood assisted with funding the wonderful St. Thomas Episcopal Pipe and Drum Band that we heard today, very inspiring, and placed all these American flags. And I love the reminder about we are one country, and we do need to think that way and work this way. And I'm so honored to work with you guys to make Braes Bio Greenway better. So thank you.
Just a little. The feeling is mutual, Beth. What you and your team do, not only building but maintaining these amazing trails, is fantastic. Before I get started, the commissioner and I were sharing when these shirts came out, and it was when he was still a senator, so it's been a while. And it's a great jersey, but I will say they do shrink over time, you know, so I'm a little disappointed in that, but otherwise good. I think it was Thomas Edison who said that any great endeavor, any great accomplishment is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. I was a little part of the inspiration piece in drawing a line on a map back in 2017 that was part of what became the Houston Bike Plan that was approved by City Council back then. That line went from about here to about there, okay? And then from that point, I passed the baton over to Amar Mohite, who is over there in the crowd, who at that time was in the commissioner's office. And Amar worked within the office. He worked with all the neighborhoods, the schools, to get take the dream, to put it down on paper, get the permitting done and so forth. And then he passed the baton on to Megan Palatra and Eric Martinez, who actually worked with the contractors to get this amazing thing built. So they turned, you know, our collective dream into this amazing reality. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I will say now the baton needs to be passed to Council Member Kamen and Mayor Pro Tem Castex Tatum and our at-large council members, because yes, there is fresh paint on the crosswalks. That's great. Okay, here's where the fierce advocate comes out, right? And as the commissioner said, yeah, we can crawl across the bridge. Don't try crawling across the street, right? That'll get you in trouble. So it's great to have paint. We need more, and we'll be working with the city. Yes, yes, and we're behind you, and we will, whatever we need to do, we'll continue to do that. And I'm going to close with this. I didn't know the rabbi, but what everyone has said, I can't think of a better tribute. And every time I see this bridge, every time I go over this bridge, I'm going to think of him. And what one of the sisters said about the sacred within each of us, the sacred within all of God's creation, that's all going to come to mind. That resonates for me. So thank you for sharing that with us. And with that, I'll turn it over to Jeannie.
Thank you. I'll be very brief. First, a big thank you to all of you who've worked for years to make this happen. We've been watching and cheering from the sidelines, and I know it takes a lot of effort and persistence. And so thank you very much. And I could not be more thankful than to have such a tribute to such a great man. And thousands of families around this neighborhood will appreciate it every day. And with your stories, could not be a better tribute. And so thank you very much. And I look forward to future events on this beautiful bridge. Thanks to Beth and all her crew who do such a great job. It is a community amenity that cannot be beat. And so I look forward to future use for all of us to join together and crisscross back and forth. So thank you very much.
So believe it or not, we've come to the end of the program. Hasn't this been inspiring? I did ask Dr. Tina Peterson to come up here with me. You want to see her because she is the head, Dr. Tina Peterson, of the Flood Control District. And so, these greenways that the county is in charge of are really so that once the city gets the water to the bayou, we get it to the Gulf of Mexico instead of being in your home. So give her a warm round of applause. But I know that these bikers are going to kill us, the runners and the walkers. And, when I get to this event in Austin, I'm going to tell them if I smell a little bit like I'm sweating, it's because we didn't put a little hoodie over us up here at the head of the speakers line. Look, thank you all for coming. It's been a wonderful event. All of the speakers and you all can come. How are we going to do this, team? So when we cut the ribbon, we don't have to move all this, do we? Okay, come on up, everybody, so we can cut this ribbon. And let the walking, crawling, jogging, and the cycling begin.
Check. You can also read Record History. Is directly opposite about the dream you can accomplish to use registration for the bike ride today. If you do not have a bike and would like to rent one for today, go to the bike master truck with the white tank directly across the trail. Considering including moving, the race starts at the right starts at 11:30. I'll be on the Sunday 2 mile line. And the race starts